Just spinning.
Oh, okay. And we are live for a new episode of the Electrek podcast. I'm Fred Lambert, your host, and as usual, I'm joined by Seth Winchell. How are you doing this week, Seth?
I'm good.
All right. As you can see, I'm now back home, back from China. Um, Plenty to talk about. I haven't reported a lot of what I did in the last few days in China while I was there because I'm still waiting from some cool little footage to show you guys before making some videos and post about it. But I guess I can tell you a little of a preview. I went to BYD's headquarters in Shenzhen, just outside of Shenzhen, and that in itself is impressive. BYD is so huge. It's hard to overstate the scale of it. I mean, just the headquarters now they don't have any. They used to have a factory at the headquarters. Now it's just they got so big. It's just engineering and just office worker and all that. And just that is like 100,000 people. They have 100,000 just engineers. Just in R&D, they have 100,000
That's
people.
wild. I mean, that's the size of Michigan Stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot of people.
You know, like Tesla has 130 or so thousand people. Most of those in factory worker, like the
Right.
factory workers is the main thing. It's like no, for them, just the R&D, just the engineers. It's like a full Tesla size, and then total they have 1 million people. They are the biggest private employer in China. The
Wow.
only thing bigger are state-owned companies.
Yeah.
The headquarters is like the parking lot. They are all parked on top of each other. Like you cannot exit your parking spot without like being blocked by someone just park in the way. It's just the insane amount of people. They hired 200,000 people just last year. It's it's incredible. The little district where they're at in Shenzhen, it's like a new district basically for them that they built out at the outskirt of the city, and it's where like the transit system for Shenzhen hands.
Hmm.
So they connected it with their they are now in the light rail system. Like they built a light rail for Brazil, and they were selling a few light rail systems. So they built one too for their own little district there,
That's
so
hilarious.
that so that they have their employees have public transport. We took it, and it's like nice little monorail, basically electric monorail, and they're using their same battery and motor that they use for their car. They repurposed that, put that in a nice little basically metro system, but that's suspended in the air on the light rail, and that's really cool. But yeah, I went there. They have a showroom that also has like the history of the company and a very nice like small model of their factory where it actually like work program all a bunch of miniature robots that are just like the manufacturing robots to produce um, their miniature diecast SUV, but actually makes a diecast SUV from the robots. It's really nice. Um, and they have their entire lineup. So for the first time, I was able to drive a BYD vehicle. I've never driven one before. They put out not the entire lineup, but they were nice enough to put some of their latest vehicle out there for us to try. And it, it was a really wild experience because it was literally in the employee parking lot. So we arrived there at like 3 p.m. or something. They did the little tour, and then they were like, "Hey, here's a few cars. You can try them in the parking lot." And the, among those cars, there was the U9, their crazy
Really?
supercar.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
the U8, their insane SUV that does the tank turn and everything. There was the Seagull, the $10,000 car that they have. That's their bestseller. There was the new BYD Han that has the 1,000 kilowatt charging. There was the Tide 3 that has the drone, DJI drone that's has the garage for the drone on top of the car. What else? There was the Denza N9 that has the tri-motor with several degrees of freedom on the rear steering that's able to I don't know what I even call that now. It's similar to a tank turn. It can actually do a take turn, just not a complete 1 360. It can do it on one axle, basically on each of the front wheel. Instead of doing it on its in center of mass, it does it around one of its front wheel. And what
Oh, it kinda, like, flips itself around.
Yeah. So what it does basically, and if you want to do a parallel park, you can just go forward into the into the parking space and just back your back wheels into it, which is pretty cool. It's actually like a real useful case of a tank turn, other than like off-roading and having to like turn around, which we did that too in the U8. But the real crazy part said, and it's really a good representation of China and how they, their attitude of how they approach just, let's just do this thing. I'm in the middle of their employee parking lot, and it's getting like 5 6 p.m., and I'm just like tinkering with these vehicles, and there's the documentary there too, so they want to film everything, so we keep having to like redo things so that they can film in different angles and everything. So it's taking a lot of times. And obviously the first thing I want to get into is the U9. We make that car like jump in the air, which is fucking
Really?
crazy. And
Yeah, I was
then
gonna say that's my favorite car, U9.
Yeah, and then, but again, I'm in this small, like it's a big for a parking lot, but it's like relatively small, and I have this super car that goes 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, and I do little lunches, but like I have maybe like 200 meter, 250 meters max of runway, so I cannot like go crazy with it, and there's people driving around and going back home from the day of work, so and they keep telling me like, yeah, go ahead, have fun with it. I'm like, are you are you sure? Like, there's people around everywhere. And then they let me literally for 12 13 times, just for the cameras and everything, launch the car and jump into the air with it. And they're like, yeah, let's just do it. Can you imagine like an automaker, like even if they had that capacity in North America, letting you do that in your parking lot?
No.
They would be security all over the place. It's like, no. First of all, you need a helmet, and you need this.
Oh, you didn't have a helmet?
No, none of that. Like, they literally give me the keys to each of these cars, and they were like, "Hey, go ahead." The only thing that like stopped us at the end is like the guy. So everything was last minute. So they were super nice to arrange everything, BYD. It's just that you could see that it was all last minute, and they didn't have like anything planned or anything like that. So they literally have the guy that in charge of the BYD fleet like bring a few cars that they had available and make it available for us. And then when it was like 6 7 p.m., the guy that was in charge of the car was like, "Hey, I kind of want to go home now. I need to bring these cars back and everything." So I'm like, "All right, sorry." So I couldn't film everything that I wanted to film, but I'm gonna have some good footage for you guys where we made that. It's not a feature that's just there for the marketing department to make a video about and bring views. Like, it's actually in the car that they are delivering to customer. You just have to accept the little warning about how crazy stupid that is, and then you can jump the car whenever you want. The suspension loads up like a cat that's about to bounce in the air, and just boom, sparks like that. Which you can do it on standing on park in place, or you can do it from 30 kilometers an hour and up. You can do it 130 kilometers an hour if you want, and just jump. It's it's crazy. The tank turn is also really well done. The way that they did it, the UI is very smooth. You can also do that wherever you want. Uh, Same with the Denza, which is not exactly a tank turn, but pretty close. The craziest part, though, honestly, was the seagull or mini dolphin, whatever you want to call it. That's many different names depending on the market. So I've seen the car around, and I actually was driven in one at one point.
Does it look like a Chevy Bolt in person?
It's a little smaller than a Chevy
Yeah,
Bolt, but
okay.
not that much smaller. And also the quality of it. Like, I was just in a Uber earlier today, here in Montreal, in a Kona Electric, like the very base Kona
Mhm.
Electric. And I was like, the quality of it, I kind of feel very similar to this. Like, and it was like a $35,000 car. versus this is literally $10,000 with over 200 miles of real range. Officially they quote 400 kilometers, but that's CLTC, so it's a little bit less than that. But yeah, it was nuts. I can't wait to show you guys some of that and what we talked about with BYD and their crazy ramp up that they had. So we talked a little bit about that. What really happened in the early 2020s that BYD was not selling that many cars until like 4 or 5 years ago. I should have a report coming out early next week. All right, we're going to talk about Tesla and Apple CarPlay, the Powerwall recall, Supercharger on Google Maps. We talk about VW finally having Supercharger access, Waymo expansion, Toyota electric SUVs, and a new Toyota plan. After that, we're going to have plenty of time to talk to you guys. So if you guys have any question for us, you can put it in the comment section. We see people are already doing that in YouTube and Facebook, but we're live everywhere without comments. And when I get to you in just, in 20, 30 minutes, it shouldn't be too long. All right. This was a surprising report this week from Bloomberg. Bloomberg says that Tesla has started testing the capability internally for the Apple CarPlay integration, according to people who are familiar but don't want to be identified because the effort is still private. Quoting Bloomberg here, the CarPlay platform, long supported by other automakers, shows user a version of the iPhone software that's optimized for vehicle infotainment system. It is considered a must-have option by many drivers. Okay. There's not a ton of details in the report, but it is coming from 9 to 5 Mac alum, Mark Gurman. And normally, I haven't followed him, you follow Apple closer than me, but he has a reputation for being extremely accurate with these Apple scoops. Is that still the case? That's still the case. So, there's credibility to this report. It was surprising to me because it would be quite a reversal of this strategy. So again, not a lot of details on there that they're working on it. They say that it could launch as soon as in a few months, though it could also just be killed because they talked about it before and it also didn't happen. So, but he says that there's actual work being done on this, and it's for the regular CarPlay, not the Ultra version that also has a instrument cluster control and climate function. So it's just the phone mirroring of your app into the Tesla computer, and it's apparently within the screen on the Tesla computer, so it doesn't take the whole screen, which makes sense, especially with the Model 3, Model Y that don't have their own instrument cluster. They are on the center screen, so it's a window within the screen. But yeah, of all the manufacturers, a lot of them are moving away from Apple CarPlay, from Android Auto to own the entire infotainment experience inside the vehicle. But we've complained that this is normally subpar compared to Apple CarPlay. Especially with the legacy automaker, the software is just not their priority. And Tesla has been the exception to the rule. Their software is actually pretty good. Some people would still like to have Apple CarPlay available. So I'm on the side of it should at least be an option. People should have the option to have it, and if they don't want to have it and just want to use this software, they can do that too.
Yeah, I wonder if Tesla's implementation of CarPlay will just be, you don't need CarPlay for Spotify, or you don't need CarPlay for Audible, or 16 other things that Tesla has. But some things like messaging, Apple is proprietary on, especially when you have group messages and stuff like that. I wonder if there's a way that Tesla uses CarPlay, but only to kind of extract out the Messages app and use that natively, or somehow, so that it's still kind of the Tesla experience, but you do get access to things that you can only so far get on CarPlay. That seems more likely than actually having just vanilla CarPlay like you would, see on a Lucid or a
Yeah, because like you said,
Hyundai.
there's not that many apps that you would actually like use in your car that you would actually need from this. Because
Right.
the audio app
Tesla
already
Tesla has almost everything.
all native, and then the navigation, you're most likely going to want to use Teslas unless you absolutely want Waze maybe, but even then,
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, Tesla's native experience is gonna be better, but there are some things that, like, for instance, if you're so attached to your Messages app that you need that, and that's keeping you from buying a Tesla, then maybe that's something they need to fix.
yeah. Looking at the response from this on social media, like the Tesla owner were mostly like, who are asking for this? Like, there's not a lot of people who are asking for this, but I'm sure there's some people that it's a difference maker. We've seen it with GM when GM started phasing out Apple CarPlay, got a lot of people upset. But again, GM's software is also not really on par with Tesla.
Yeah, that seems like the wrong direction. Mike the Car Geek in the comments makes a good point. Do you think CarPlay is a robotaxi only product? Riders would be allowed to sync their phones during a trip, but owners do not get it. So, for instance, if you're in a robotaxi, you could sync your CarPlay up to it.
Yeah, that could be one of the drivers of the reason for integration. But if they are doing an integration, might as well. Again, options are nice. Like,
Yeah.
offer it to people. They want to use it. 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 That's it. So I don't think there's value to offering it just to robotaxi.
Yeah, I mean, Mercedes does a great job of making CarPlay so bad that you want to use the native system, and the native system is actually not bad. So I found it.
Mm. And I should know the only other details that were reported was that it's going to work wirelessly, so it's going to be wireless
Cool.
CarPlay too. So most of it is
Yeah.
wireless these days, I guess. I haven't seen no CarPlay integration. It's just USB only. All right, the next report is on the Powerwall recall as now expanded into the US. So a few months ago in September, we reported that Tesla had an official Powerwall 2 recall. Basically, all Powerwalls 2 produced between 2020 and 2022 were recalled in Australia following a few fires. So there was a fire risk related to the home battery pack, and Tesla just initiated a recall to do all that. And back then, 2 months ago, we did report. It was like, all right, what's happening with the other markets where Tesla, if you're recalling it for a fire risk, they should be recalling it everywhere. And now it took 2 months, but Tesla has extended the recall to the US market. It says after receiving 22 reports of overeating, including 6 reports of smoking and 5 reports of fire, resulting in minor property damage. No injuries have been reported, but in the US, it accounts for about 10,500 Powerwall 2s installed. They will be remotely discharged until they can be physically replaced. So if you look at your Tesla app and you see that Tesla has discharged your Powerwall without actual need for it around it, it's because you are included in the recall and you need your Powerwall replaced, and Tesla will contact you about it. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal, and we have a source familiar with Tesla's Powerwall service that says that Tesla has been aware of this issue for more than 2 years now, and it's only now doing the recall, which is not too surprising that they've known for longer than that. Since just with the Australian recall, there's been a 2-month delay that's unexplained when there's an actual fire risk happening. I have an image here that I'm showing, which is the inside of a trailer. Tesla even built thermal response trailer across the US to respond to those events of overheating of the Powerwall, so that they can quickly lift them up and put them in a water solution as soon as possible. um, to avoid any further overheating and possible thermal event. It's yeah, it's hard to trust Tesla to do the right thing these days, and this is the latest example. It's like we're talking about an actual fire risk of a battery that you install in people's home. Um, this reportedly, this issue happened after a software update, like the BMS issue, where something goes wrong and the protocol doesn't shut things down in time, that the system overheats for no reason, leading to these thermal events. And the first fire in the US happened in 2023. They saw a few other after that, shortly after that. Clearly, there was an issue, and they tried to let it run basically as long as they could until they were forced to do a recall in Australia, and that looks like forced their hand across the globe. And now this is happening. It's I'm getting some GM Bolt vibe of the fire recall.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's
So,
not great.
I have 2 sets of Powerwall 2s. You have Powerwall 2s, don't you?
Yeah, and they fall within the 2022.
Yeah, I think mine do too.
Yeah, I looked at my app and they haven't discharged them. So of course I'm in Canada, so
Right.
I don't know if they just not initiated the Canadian recall or if my Powerwalls are not in that. Your Powerwall haven't been discharged either.
Not that I know of. I was
Yeah,
just looking at it now.
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you don't fall into the recall, but it is. I would like a little bit more communication like this. I didn't get this recall notice from an owner or anything like that. I got it straight from the what do you call this? The Consumer Protection website in the U.S. Yeah, United States Consumer Product Safety Commission. So it's not official communication from Tesla or anything like that. And I know that Tesla has been replacing Powerwall 2s for a while now, kind of quietly. I know especially the ones in Colorado got kind of a whole quiet recall that has been expanding. So Tesla has been doing this for a while, but just not officially, not telling people that it's an actual recall. It's more like a sneaky one.
Yeah. It's interesting. I can't remember. Do you have referral Powerwalls?
Yeah, I have one, but it's not the
Signed one?
yeah, it's not the red one
Yeah,
that's
so
signed.
I
Just
have 2 sets of red signed ones. So I
and
wonder what
they
they're
are
gonna do with that.
2020. Well, yeah, you got them early though. You got them in 2020.
I thought that was right in the middle of the Powerwall 2. Oh, you know what? They might have been early Powerwall
Yeah,
2s.
yeah. You might be in early for the recall. I got mine way after yours. I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Google Maps has updated to get Tesla data directly from the Supercharger network to now show live availability in the maps, which is pretty cool. So now, if you click on the Supercharger station on Google Maps, whether on web or on mobile, you get not only the number of Tesla chargers depending on there's 75 kilowatts Tesla charge. I just realized, what's that?
Those are like the inside ones, aren't they?
Which one? Oh yeah, you're right. The city ones, the city ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost forgot about these. So you get the number of charging stall based on their power, but you also now get the live availability of them. So we see that 6 out of 8 150 kilowatt station are available here. Here's 6 out of 12. So that's really useful for especially for non-Tesla owners that are not, I mean, if you want to use Supercharger, you might as well already have the Tesla app too, so you can look there. But you're not, you normally it's not your go-to to just go to the Tesla app if you own a Hyundai, for example, you want to use the Supercharger network, but you can just use the Tesla app, or if you have Apple CarPlay and you're navigating through Apple CarPlay now on your Google Maps on your car, you can also get live availability of Supercharger. So that's I think a big step up for non-Tesla EV integration into the network, because yeah, I mean there's nothing worse than showing up at a charging station and it's full and you have to wait and you didn't know. It's just not an ideal situation. And nowadays, with the at the degrees at which the supercharger network is extensive, it's not back in the day. If it was full, there was no option. You just wait and you get the charge. But now, most likely than not, there might be another supercharge station within reach of your the where you're going, or even if it's like a city situation, there's a few of them available, most likely. So that's you can just change it to another one, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice to have that built in, especially if you don't want to download the Tesla app just for superchargers. Although I guess if you're going to charge,
yeah, you're gonna need it. It's more about I think your route planning than anything else. Like if you're gonna use Google Map, you don't have to get out of it and check with the Tesla app. Network. Volkswagen has now finally been integrated in the network. I think it's the last one. I think it's the last Tesla automaker to be integrated into the supercharger network. There was a false start. They announced it prior, and it wasn't the case. Now apparently it's official. They have the detail of their integration here. So as of November 18, it's going to be active on the 25,000 Tesla only, but for the most part, it's available to everyone. In terms of the adapter, what are they doing for adapter? So Volkswagen vehicles will have to use the NACS adapter in order to use the station, and these are available for $200 from Volkswagen, 304 Canadian in Canada. You can purchase them at the dealer. NACS adapter only intended to use for DC charging. Yeah. There's not a voucher or anything like that. Yeah, ID4 and ID Buzz owner for the model year 25 vehicle eligible for a $100 rebate on the adapter. Okay, so if it's just for people, if they buy before July 15, 2026, a model year 2025. And model year 2026 onward will come with an adapter standard. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, because I guess until NACS become native on the vehicle, it's kind of standard to have one. Like it's a game changer. Supercharger network is the best thing Tesla has done by far.
Yep.
Most impactful.
Or doubt you.
All right, just a few more articles to discuss, and then we're going to have some time to talk to you guys, so we can jump into the comment section after that. If you guys have a question, you can say, or any other topics in the EV world that you'd like my sleepy take on. Sorry, I'm falling asleep right now. It's been a rough day. I've been up since like 3:30 in the morning. All right, Waymo had a big expansion, a big step forward. Freeway riders only is now available in California, in their 3 major markets in California. So that's mainly the Bay Area and LA, I would assume. I don't let you.
I guess they didn't have freeway access.
The Bay Area, which not include San Jose. Are they counting these as like, because they said 3 major cities? Okay, yeah. Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Okay, so the Bay Area is counted as one. Then you have Los Angeles and Phoenix. They were testing there for a while with supervisor a la Tesla, but now it's riders only, so you can order a Waymo from the entire service area in the Bay Area, in Los Angeles or Phoenix. And now, prior to that, it would route you around freeways, so it would work around them. Now you're going to be able to tag them and get to your destination a lot faster. And in the Bay Area, it's going to be perfectly useful now that they sort of connected all the different service area from San Francisco all the way to San Jose. Before that, there was like gaps in the South Bay, basically. Now everything is connected. So literally, you could take a 3-hour ride in Waymo from San Francisco to San Jose in peak traffic, and it would work out. So that's obviously a big deal. It's a huge step because it's show a level of confidence that Waymo has in its driver right now, where going to higher speed, you increase the level of danger quite a bit. So the consequences are way higher. But it's been testing it for a few years now. We've seen it. We've seen some Waymo drives without anyone in the car on the freeway, and they have accumulated the data where they think that now it's safe enough to do it with riders without any supervisors, and that they have some advantage. Obviously, Waymo with their sensor suite on the highway with radars and lidar sensor which are better at determining the distance and the speeds quicker than you would, especially with static objects, something that Tesla has had issue with highway driving, and something that Tesla doesn't offer. Well, in the Bay Area, it actually offers its robotaxi service on highways, but that's basically a Uber driver with FSD in the driver's seat, so it's not exactly the same. In Austin, where they have the supervisor in the passenger seat rather than the driver, they don't do highways, and you can still get highways, but if your destination requires highway driving, they're gonna route you a car with the safety driver in the driver's seat instead of the passenger seat of the Tesla robotaxi program. And even Elon commented on this, which prompted me to write an article last night about, is Elon delusional or lying about Tesla full self-driving? Because he called Waymo's update, which also confirmed that they have 2,500 robotaxis in operation now in North America, or in the US, so Bay Area, Phoenix, Atlanta, and Austin. He called that rookie numbers. So people got really excited. They were like, "Oh, that means Tesla has like more robotaxi than 2,500," even though we know that they have like 30 of them in Austin, and
It's like
maybe,
calling it a child's toy.
yeah, very similar to that comment. And we know what happened with that. It took actually Tesla,
Like a decade.
yeah, almost a decade to beat what he referred to as child's toys,
Right.
which was a 350 kilowatt charge rate. They just now have been deploying 500 kilowatt station. So yeah, maybe I hope it's not going to be that long for this. But you know what? I don't think this is it. I think there's two explanations. Which my conclusion to the question, is Elon being delusional or is he lying, is that it's a little bit of both. I think that sometimes he is being delusional and thinking that he's been saying for the last 8 years that Tesla is going to solve unsupervised self-driving either by the end of the year or next year, and he's been wrong every time. But I think sometimes he's delusional and he really thinks that this is on the verge of doing it. But then when it doesn't happen, when he's wrong, he is quite willing to cross the line and lie about the situation to make it look better. For example, in this case, with the rookie number for Waymo clearly having 10x more robotaxis than Tesla in the US, and that's with Tesla's very loose description of a robotaxi. I think it's either two things. I think it's either that, what we've seen from Elon's comments about Tesla robotaxi covering half of the US population by the end of the year, and what we've seen from job listings of Tesla hiring their safety drivers all across the US. I wouldn't be surprised that in the next month or two, we see from Tesla and from Elon announcing that robotaxi is expanding to half a dozen cities with thousands of cars that are basically just like the situation right now in the Bay Area, where Tesla is operating a ride-hailing service like Uber with FSD, with people in the driver's seat. It's very doable, and then you can call that robotaxi apparently and just say that you're beating Google, which anyone other than hardcore Elon fan see through that. But anyway, I think it could literally be that, or it can be even stupider than that, where you could he goes back to like, oh, we already have 1 million robotaxi with just people with FSD in North America, and that's what he's talking about. So that's what he's saying. Rookie numbers is like we're actually beating that right now, which would be even stupider than the other ride hailing kind of fakery. Toyota has unveiled its first all-electric pickup truck, and kind of underwhelming. It's the, how do they call that? The Hilux? Is that how you spell that? Hilux?
Yeah, Hilux.
Yeah. How you pronounce that? Yeah. So this is it here. It's the new Hilux, and it's going to be offered in 3 different powertrain. No, excuse me, 4 different powertrain versions. So all electric, hybrid, diesel, and there's going to be a fuel cell electric version because apparently we're still doing that in 2025. But the all electric version is equipped with only a 59.2 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is the smallest battery pack capacity of any electric pickup truck out there. It comes with towing capacity of 3,500 pounds, 1,600 kilograms, also the smallest BEV towing capacity we've seen, and a max payload capacity of 1,500 pounds, 715 kilograms. WLTP range is expected at 150 miles, 240 kilometers. So this is right now meant for the European market, the South Asian market, and I think they are talking about launching this also in Australia. So there's no plan for the US. But yeah, it's basically a city pickup truck, if I understand this correctly.
Yeah, I mean, those are quite popular all over the world. The
Mhm.
Toyota pickups are just, like kind of the only game in town in most of the third world. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean the pricing would be interesting to have. I don't think we're gonna have that right away. Um, okay, so it's gonna launch next month for the all electric version, so we should have pricing in some market next month. That would, that would, if it's like closer to like, let's say like $35,000, something like that, I could understand. But other than that, it's a very small battery pack for a vehicle of that size.
yeah, and with that wind resistance.
Yes, it is a box. Finally, Toyota again. They officially have started production at their giant EV battery factory in the U.S. It's in North Carolina. That's a cool name for the town. I skip it. My brain is mush right now. Is it Liberty? Yeah, Liberty, North Carolina. So it's a big plan. They're still investing, but when everything is said and done, they think it's going to be a $14 billion investment, 5,000 jobs created, and will produce eventually 30 gigawatt hour annually of battery pack capacity. Um, Mainly for their hybrids. So they are making mostly hybrids battery pack, but their global SUV, all electric SUV that they plan to launch soon, also will have their battery pack produced at that plant in the US. Toyota, it's their first battery plant in the US, in North America. Everything else is in Asia, and I think they have one also in Europe. So, baby steps towards Toyota going electric. Just like I said, they're still doing fuel cells, hybrid, so it's not like don't manage your expectation a little bit. All right, let's jump into the comment section.
All right, question. Both Lyft and Uber have committed to an all-electric fleet by 2030 in the US, according to current metric. Is this realistic goal? Do you think either company will be at all electric? 2030 is in about 5 years.
I mean, ride hailing, it makes a ton of sense to go electric. You save a lot of money. So I definitely see it happening a lot faster than the broader market in North America. especially the US. So I guess the reason for the question is with the context of the current EV adoption rate in the US being at 10-12%. So do you really get to a full 100%? Um, I would. I don't have that on top of my head. I would assume that the adoption rate for ride hailing is already much higher than the broader market. So, yeah, I think it's actually achievable. Now, are they going to enforce? Uh, if you're a Uber driver and you still have a combustion engine vehicle, are they going to enforce that and kick you out of their drivers network? I don't know. I mean, it's it's hard to even like imagine exactly what the ride hailing system is industry is going to look like in 5 years with the advance of
Autonomy. Yeah.
autonomy at the same time. So yeah, it's a harder one to predict. But yeah, I think by 2030 you're going to be at very least pretty close to all electric and ride hailing, and most likely autonomous starting to have a real impact in the especially in the next 2 to 3 years, starting in the next 2 to 3 years.
All right. 29 Mado says, have you seen announcement of 16 kilowatt hour battery range extender for any EV? It connects to the main battery, giving more range and better charge curve. EV Clinic presented it 2 weeks ago in Zagreb Green Fair. I've not heard of this. Have you?
No, are they talking like an 18 kilowatt hour pack that you put in your trunk and then connect? Yeah, I mean,
It sounds almost like a capacitor, like a super capacitor, where you can charge it really fast, it stores it, and then it slowly charges your battery.
but EVs are not really set up for that. Like, do you run out of the back a cable and plug it into your chargers?
No idea.
Like, yeah, it's I don't know. I like the only other thing that I can think of is like the Cybertruck, uh, the Ranger, and that was a flop. But of course, the program itself was a flop, so that doesn't help. But I don't know of any of these type of product that pierce the market in the EV industry just yet.
All right. Tesla malfeasance on full display with delayed recalls and not universal. Who's responsible and why weren't they fired? I think we know who's responsible and we know why Elon wasn't fired. So
Yeah, and I'm hearing other things of who was actually fired, what might have been the people that were pointing at that issue. Where's
whistleblowers, yeah.
yeah.
It would be a weird thing to be a whistleblower at Tesla. Like,
Oh yeah.
all right. We had a Powerwall with a burning smell, which was replaced in the UK. Yeah, you don't want that.
Is there an official recall in the UK? Like these are the same products everywhere. There should be a
Right.
recall everywhere all at once. You just do it, be done with it. It's not like just the recall. If it's really just 10,500 in the US, it's $100 million recall for Tesla. It hurts, but it's like not the end of the world. Do it. You know what hurts? People dying for this. It would be first of all a tragedy, and second of all probably a bigger financial impact than doing it. It's the penny pinching on that stuff or from a major corporation like that is just not a good look.
All right. I tried Google Supercharger map info, and it's a useful feature, even if it duplicates built-in info for Teslas. It is nice. Waymo is extending to the lower Bay Area. I want to try this out.
Hmm.
All right. Did you all hear about the Elon Musk unveiled documentary that is releasing at an Amsterdam Film Festival this week? Looks like a comprehensive expose with the tagline, The Tesla Experiment.
No, I've not heard that one.
Me neither. I wonder if there's any new information in there.
Mhm.
The Hilux specs look disappointing, but I expect Ford's new Ranchero mini pickup thingy to also use a much smaller battery with the target of not road tripping.
I don't know, because if it's like we expect, like more of a Ranchero style vehicle, could be more efficient. Could with a 60 so kilowatt hour battery pack is still small. Like if you can go to 80, I think get a lot more use case. You can get fast charging and make it get over 200 miles of range with it. Still be useful for road tripping, even though probably not the primary use. I agree. I think I think there's a way to configure this and price this. Well, I mean, I haven't seen the price of the Hilux, but just the configuration of it, it feels like they're not trying as much. And again, if it's a vehicle where you have four different powertrain options in them, maybe you're trying to sell, other powertrain option. And obviously, Toyota still favors hybrids over all electric vehicles. So.
All right. 150 miles range is great for rural folks who live 1 hour from a city. Yeah, but then you can't tow. You can't, that one time that you have to do a couple trips.
I almost feel like this is he's being sarcastic because
Oh, really? Yeah.
it's tight, an hour from the city, 150 miles. You going, you come back, like you said, in terms of if you actually are working with a load or whatsoever. It's it's not ideal.
All right. Dean McManus says the EV Helix is a joke. It most likely will never come to the US as it wouldn't be competitive against hybrid or gas only models. I mean, with a battery that size, with 150 miles, like the range extender that Scout is building, it seems like a really nice option to have.
Mhm. Yeah, that's one of the things in China too that I started to make peace with. We're all about all electric, all electric, all electric. But I've seen you see right now in China a trend of some all electric automaker adding range extender into the vehicle, Xpeng being one of them.
Yeah.
It's been known as an all electric, but they all putting the same 1.5 liter engine into their vehicle. All these automakers that are
Yeah,
going
super
hybrid.
efficient, runs at one
Yeah,
speed, one whatever.
yeah.
And yeah,
A-
I agree.
And
I think for some
these
people,
they're still keeping their big battery pack too. So
right.
they're still using a 50 kilowatt hour plus battery pack. So the electric is still first. Most of the time you'll never put gas in it. You're just gonna use it. You use it just the battery, but every now and again you might use the range, and the range gets up to 1,000 kilometers now with it. So that's impressive. And I guess the idea behind it in China is that the Chinese market is already at over 50% all electric, or at least no, that goes hybrid, but it's very close to 50% all electric, closer to 60 if you had all the hybrids. And they are kind of maxing out the cities, the market in the cities where people are perfectly fine with all electric. So if you go a little bit more rural or get out of the biggest urban areas where charging is no problem and everything, people like to have the gas option. So it helps the rural people ease into the electric vehicle platform. So they're finding that very useful, and all the automakers say that they see it geographically, the impact of these models of having the hybrid, the range extender powertrain as an option there. They say that it's pretty useful for penetrating into those markets. So I get it. And yeah, like the U8, for example, from BYDs, and you get over 1,000 kilometers of range with and still it's like a 50 or 60 kilowatt hour battery pack. um, so you use it all electric, all the time. But then if you want to go on a crazy long road trip and you just or you want to go really off-road adventuring, because that's what the vehicle is for, you make sure to have a full tank of gas before you leave, and you'll never going to be stuck anywhere, and you could use it as a generator to power other things. It's yeah, there's some value to it, as long I've always said, plug-in hybrids are great as long as you use them as they're intended to be used, which is charge the battery pack and use the battery pack first, and only use your gas engine when you need it, which is, or at least was, a problem at first, where a lot of people were just using it as a regular hybrid, and the battery pack was only being charged through the regeneration of the use of the gas engine, which is not ideal.
Yeah, and we saw came across the wire today. Nissan has a interesting plug-in hybrid coming to the US. 3 rows, some good miles. Not like, I think, 20-ish kilowatt hour battery, 40-ish miles of range on battery alone. But I think these might be like the next things is like batteries for daily driving, and then a little gas motor for the longer trips or the time you forget to plug in or whatever.
Well, in North America, it might be because like there's still so much room to grow from
Yeah.
now to go to all electric. So it looks like there's room for these transitional technology.
All right. Yeah. If Toyota put a 60 kilowatt hour pack into a RAV4 Prime, it would work, but 125 miles in a BEV is limiting. I mean, 60 kilowatt hour pack is almost like enough to get around as long as you have good
Yeah.
charging options. It's plenty to get around, to be honest. It's almost like a Model Y, really.
Yeah, if they were as efficient, it would be.
Yeah. All right. Why are they supersizing every single car? I can get a small electric sedan under 15K, brand new with over 250-mile range.
In China, you are because
Yeah,
I,
China.
I don't know anywhere else where you can do that.
Can you even get a gas car? Like, what is this, a sedan that's $15,000 in the US?
Yeah, not a sedan. You can get a compact car, but not
Right.
not not a sedan.
Can you
But
even still get that? I feel like 20 grand is like,
no, I think I kind of blanking right now. But like the like the kind of like Toyota Yaris kind of
right,
market, like Hyundai Accent. I know that these vehicles might not exist, but they have new equivalent of that.
right.
There's some of that, but it's rare nowadays because again, like Dylan said, it's they're supersizing everything. So.
Yeah.
All right, but that's everything for us this week. Thank you for listening to the Electric Podcast. I'm sorry that I was extremely low energy. I'm super tired. Seth also had a late night, so it's not our most energetic podcast. We apologize for that. Next week we're gonna be back in perfect form. I'm gonna be back in Shawinigan too in the studio and hopefully well rested. And I'm gonna have a little bit more to you about the Chinese trip with some video and everything that's gonna be fun. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you same time, same place.